Today we are looking at what I call source mapping. I want to walk you through where to begin when it comes to building your digital library. As a former educator, I like to think of this as our teacher notes for the soul of your business. We aren't just looking for content. We're looking for the raw materials of your legacy. We're going to look at how to find these digital assets and, more importantly, how to use them with the savvy and grace that only a woman of our experience can bring to the table. Let's pour a cup of something warm and dive in. Hello, I'm Michelle. I'm so glad that you found your way to Glimmer and Grace Co. today. If you're like me, maybe you've spent like the last 20 or 30 years being the anchor. We've been the one holding the classroom together, the one navigating the corporate boardroom, or the one keeping the family ship steady through every storm. We've worn the badges of educator, leader, and matriarch with pride, but lately there's been a whisper in your heart, hasn't there? A call towards something softer, maybe? Something more intentional? We call this the next chapter. It's that beautiful, sometimes slightly terrifying transition from being at everyone else's beck and call to becoming the architect of your own portable life. We're looking for that quiet income, that kind that hums along in the background while we're out gardening or traveling to see the people that we love. We want a digital boutique that reflects our wisdom without demanding our every waking hour. So, what can you actually source? When people first hear about private label rights or brandable, done-for-you content, they often think it's just a few dusty articles hidden in a corner of the internet. But oh, it is so much more than that. Think of a high-end boutique, the kind with linen curtains and that scent of lavender in the air. When you walk in, you don't just see one thing. You see a curated collection of textures and styles. That is how I want you to view your sourcing options. We aren't just looking for content. We're looking for the raw materials of your legacy. Think of these as the seeds for your boutique. Let's walk through this palette of what's available to you right now. One of the ways I love to start with is called the sophisticated simplicity. This is talking about taking something functional and making it beautiful, intentional. For example, I've taken a standard productivity checklist and performed a graceful pivot to create something specifically for us. I call it the Matriarch's Morning, a ritual for peace and purpose. It's a simple, elegant guide to help you reclaim your early hours before the world starts asking for your energy. I've left a link for you to download that for free in the description box below. It's the perfect example of how a small piece of source content can become a glimmer for your audience. First, we have the written glimmers. These are articles and blog posts. These are conversation starters. Think of these as the moments you spend chatting over the fence with a neighbor or catching up with a friend at a local bistro. They are short, insightful, and designed to lead people into your world. For the woman building a legacy, these articles are your voice. They allow you to share wisdom consistently without having to stare at a blank screen on a Monday morning when your creative energy might be elsewhere. You can find articles on everything from mindfulness to marketing, and they serve as the seeds for your larger garden. Second, there's the digital classroom, lessons and full courses. This is where my teacher heart truly beats. Many of us have spent years, decades in creating lesson plans from scratch. We've stayed up late grading, planning, and organizing, but in this digital boutique world, you don't have to start with a blank page. You can source full curricula. These are the teacher systems that allow you to set up a workshop, a multi-week program in a fraction of the time. You can take that structure, the bones of the lessons, and then you can drape it into your own stories and your own matriarch wisdom. It's about taking a proven path and adding your unique map to it. Third, we have the visual anchor, presentation outlines and visual decks or slide decks. If you're ready to step into the role of a mentor, a speaker, or an online educator, you need a visual anchor. You don't need to be a graphic designer or a tech whiz. You can source professionally designed outlines and presentation frames. They provide the structure for your message, allowing you to focus on the delivery. Whether you're leading a Zoom workshop or a local community seminar, these assets ensure you look as professional and sophisticated as you truly are. Fourth would be the connection. These are email sequences. In our next chapter, we value deep, resonant connections. Email isn't just marketing in the cold corporate sense. It's a digital letter to a friend. Sourcing email sequences gives you a transition blueprint for how to stay in touch with your audience. It ensures that even when you're off the clock, perhaps enjoying a slow morning at the farmer's market, your boutique is still welcoming people in. Fifth, there's the practicality, the worksheets, templates, and checklists. Our audience, women like us, are often the anchor for their own families. They're busy and they are caring for aging parents, cheering on their growing children, and managing 1,000 moving parts. They don't want a 300-page manual. They want sophisticated simplicity. They want a checklist that says, do these 5 things to find your peace today. These practical tools are the most popular items in any digital boutique because they offer immediate relief. They are the quick wins that build trust. Finally, we have the legacy assets. These are reports, ebooks, and planners. They are the main events. These are the products that carry your name, your brand out into the world. Short reports that solve a specific problem, ebooks that share your philosophy on life and business, or planners that help someone organize their own next chapter. These are the seeds of your quiet income. When you see the vastness of what you can source, from video scripts to social media prompts, you realize that you are never truly starting from zero. You are a curator. You are a savvy collector of ideas, ready to refine them into something beautiful. So in this next part, we're gaining the wisdom of repurposing into the Graceful Pivot. I want to talk to you about how we take these raw materials and perform what I call the Graceful Pivot. We don't just take a digital asset and post it exactly as we found it. We are women of substance. We refine things. We infuse them with grace. Repurposing is the secret to a soft life in a digital boutique business. It means one piece of source content that can serve you in 5 different ways. Let me give you some teacher notes on how this looks in the real world. Imagine you have a well-written article about the importance of boundaries during life transitions. It's a lovely 1,000-word piece. You take the 3 main headings and turn them into 3 separate, beautiful social media posts. You take one powerful, resonant sentence and put it on a refined background for a Pinterest pin or an Instagram quote card. Then you have the audio connection. You record yourself reading the summary of that same article, adding your own matriarch's wisdom at the beginning and the end, and you post it as a short video or a podcast snippet. Now you have the email letter. You take the core message of the article, add a personal story about a time that you had to set a boundary, and send it out as your weekly newsletter. Easy. Suddenly, from one source article, you have a week's worth of content that positions you as the anchor in your niche. You aren't content creating, you're wisdom sharing. And because you sourced the core ideas, you've saved yourself 5 hours of research and drafting. That is 5 hours you could spend on the porch or with your family or simply breathing. Now we move into those main events. These are your legacy assets. These are the paid products that truly solve a problem for your customers. As you are sourcing your material and mapping out your library, you need a way to stay organized so you don't feel overwhelmed. This is exactly why I created the Glimmer and Grace Code Digital Product Planner. It's designed specifically for women building their own boutiques, helping you track your sourcing, your edits, and your launches all in one place. You can find the link to grab your copy of the planner in the description box as well. Using a tool like this allows you to move out of the teacher mode and into your CEO mode with much more ease. I want to share 3 stories of transformation with you to help you see how this actually works. Let's look at 3 women who use the sourcing map to build their own boutiques. These aren't just theories, these are legacy-led. So for story number 1, we're talking about a wellness pivot from tired to inspired. We have Elena. She spent 25 years in a high-stress corporate role, always the one managing everybody else's deadlines while her own garden sat neglected. She knew she wanted to help other women in their next chapter find a slower, more rhythmic way of living, but she didn't want to start from a blank page. Elena found a standard done-for-you PLR pack that was titled The Beginner's Guide to Daily Mindfulness. To her, that felt a little too clinical, like a textbook even, so she performed a graceful pivot. She rebranded the content as The Sanctuary Season, a guide to cultivating inner quiet. She took the chapter on breathing techniques and turned it into a beautiful set of digital affirmation cards for her boutique. Then she took the section on mindful movement and recorded a series of garden meditations. They were short audio tracks designed to be listened to while walking or sitting outside. She bundled the cards and the audios into a sanctuary starter kit, and she sold that for $47. Elena didn't have to spend weeks researching mindfulness. She used her experience as a woman who had been there to take those raw materials and turn them into a soulful experience for her customers. She didn't just sell a guide, she sold a transformation. Our next story is about the corporate anchor from the boardroom to the consultant. We have Diana. She was a high-level executive who wanted a portable life. She wanted to consult with small business owners on leadership, but she didn't want to spend her retirement writing how-to guides. She sourced a full course on team communication. Instead of just handing it over, she refined it. She added her own corporate teacher notes, real-life stories of mistakes that she made and lessons that she learned in the boardroom. She turned the slide decks into high-end workshop series. For those of us who are coming from Gen X, a slide deck is just another word or phrase for a PowerPoint slide. Because she had the sourcing map, she was able to launch her consulting practice into 3 weeks instead of 6 months. Then we have another story of a creative spirit, someone who took a hobby and made it into their digital boutique. We have Stephanie. Stephanie loved gardening and mindfulness. She wanted to create a digital membership, but she felt overwhelmed by the tech of this content creation. She sourced a series of mindfulness planners and gardening journals. Stephanie didn't just sell the planners. She used the content marketing strategy. She used that blog post from her source material to talk about the glimmers of nature. She used worksheets to create a 30-day bloom challenge. Her audience didn't care that she didn't design every line of a planner. They cared about the community she built around it. She used the sourced assets as a foundation for her quiet income. So now let's talk about the truth of this digital dust, this discernment of being savvy. I have to be a bit of a wise matriarch here and give you a gentle warning. There is a reason many people fail with digital products, and it's not because they aren't smart. It's because they fall into the digital dust trap. The advantages of sourcing are clear. They give you speed, cost effectiveness, and brain power preservation. You can launch a boutique on the weekend. You save money by not hiring ghostwriters. You save your teacher energy for your clients and customers. But the biggest pitfalls are real. If you use those assets randomly, you end up with a business that feels disjointed. It's like a house where every room is decorated in a different clashing style, which is okay if that's what you want. But if you don't edit, it sounds generic. And generic is the enemy of resonance. The women who are looking for an anchor, they want us. They want our tone. They want our warmth. They want our savvy. The biggest trap is buying without building. We've all been there, buying a beautiful template because the act of buying feels like progress, but progress only happens when the template is refined and presented to the people who need it. We are at a stage in our lives where we don't need more clutter, digital or otherwise. We want sophisticated simplicity. I have 6 goals to help you align your North Star, defining your business goals, and getting this digital boutique in order. Before you even open a sourcing website, you must have a North Star in sight. Why are you here? What is the goal for your digital boutique this season? I want you to sit with these 6 goals and see which one feels like your anchor right now. So goal number 1, lead generation, building your community. Are you looking to find your people? If so, you are sourcing assets to give away. You want glimmers, small, valuable pieces of content that say, if you like this, you'll love being in my world. Think lead magnets, free checklists, or a welcome email series. Your goal here is to grow your email list with grace. Goal number 2, product creation, building your legacy. Are you ready to sell? Then you're looking for the main events. You want the full workbooks, the comprehensive courses, and the planners. You're sourcing material to turn into legacy-led products. You want assets that provide a deep transformation. Goal number 3 is content marketing, sharing your wisdom. If your goal is to become a thought leader, then you are sourcing blog posts, social media prompts, and video scripts. You're using them to show up consistently with a clear message that builds trust over time. You're building your savvy reputation. Goal number 4, audience nurturing. This is the anchor role. Sometimes the goal is simply to stay connected. You want to be the anchor for the people that are already in your circle. You source newsletters and check-in emails to let them know that you're still there, you're still wise, and you're still holding space for them. This isn't about selling. Goal number 5, revenue generation, the soft life. Perhaps your primary focus right now is creating the quiet income through a membership site or a bundle offer. In this case, you're sourcing everything from the marketing materials to the member lessons to build a robust, profitable system that doesn't require you to trade all of your hours for dollars. You're thinking about using school platform, the paid membership sites on YouTube, Substack, things like that. Goal number 6 would be affiliate support or growing together. And don't forget, if you're recommending tools or products that you love, you can source content to help your partners. It's a savvy way to grow your own income by being a bridge between your audience and the solutions that they need. The more clearly you define these goals, the easier it becomes for you to use your sourcing map intentionally instead of randomly. We aren't content creators anymore. We're intentional navigators of our own lives. Here's my matriarch blessing moving forward. I know that for many of you, this feels like a big shift. You might be thinking, can I really do this? Can I really be a tech-savvy boutique owner at this stage of my life? Let me tell you something that I've learned. Your experience is your greatest asset. The teacher systems that you've developed over decades, be it working in a school, being a nurse, working at home, working in corporate, these are the pieces of matriarch wisdom that you've gained through trial and fire. This is something a 22-year-old influencer cannot replicate. Sourcing digital assets isn't cheating. It's being a good steward of your time and your energy while you're making this transition. It's acknowledging that you have a limited amount of creative fuel each day and that you'd rather spend it on things that truly matter, like connecting with people, sharing your unique perspective, and enjoying the life that you've worked so hard to build. We aren't rushing anymore. We aren't hustling until we burn out. We're building with sophisticated simplicity. We are creating a digital boutique that is as refined and as simple as we are. Take a moment after this video and ask yourself, which of the 6 goals is my North Star today? Write it down. Put it on a Post-it note near your computer. Let that be the first filter in which you see every piece of content now that you source from here on out. I want you to remember that your first version doesn't have to be perfect. As teachers, we often have this perfectionist trap where we want everything to be 100% ready before we show anyone. But in the soft life of business, done is better than perfect. Start with one checklist. Start with one article. Perform one graceful pivot. Do the YouTube video. You'll be amazed at how quickly your digital boutique starts to feel like home and everything that you're doing to build up your business. If you found value in today's video, please make sure to like and subscribe. Don't forget to check the description box below for the Matriarch's Morning Ritual and the Digital Boutique Planner to help you get started with everything. Please also share in the comments, what are you planning on working on this week for your digital boutique? I love reading about your goals. It inspires me to work on my own, and I know that it helps encourage other women who are struggling with their digital boutiques. In our next session, we're going to talk about the graceful edit, exactly how to take these raw materials and make them sound like they came straight from your heart. We're going to look at the voice and the refining process so your boutique is unmistakably yours. You're doing something really brave, something beautiful, and you're doing it with so much grace. You should be really proud of yourself. Until then, remember to find your glimmer and walk in grace. Bye.